All right, everyone, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. I'm going to have a course sale here beginning of the new year. I haven't decided if it's going to be Thursday or the week after, but if you're interested in that, I've got a whole bunch of new material coming out and adding to that in the Essentials course. But anyways, let's get into it here today. And by the way, don't forget to follow me here with those notifications on, because we gave out these dealer levels this morning, and they were very good. So very good. And you can actually see them on here on TradingView. We have them marked here, 585, 587. And that marked the low of the day for a nice bounce here in a V shape. Now we did come back in last 10 minutes. Bottom line here is, so market's down here, gapping down. And we kind of just sold off for like the first hour. And then a pretty nice V-shaped bounce, consolidation, and then just a little dip here in the last 10 minutes. 590 is the big level now. So that is the master area. And the 585 area I mentioned here and this morning does appear some interest. The positive here is that it appears that some interest is dying for that strike tomorrow. Bulls still have, the onus here to push us through 590 though. So right now, short term, I'm still going to give the bears the upside bias, or the benefit of the doubt rather. We rejected that trend line and they're still holding it. That said, they may be trying to set us up here for a push to, I'm going to just say 598 SPY. So I'm seeing a lot of interest come in that strike tomorrow. That's the end of year close. And if you're, familiar with your SPY versus SPX, it's essentially 6K, right there, pivot high from Friday, 598, right in that range. So they could be setting us up for that 6K close. Again, onus is on the bulls to do something though. And if we do test 585 again tomorrow, and that goes, I do think we'll make, I know we'll make a new low to 580, and then that will be your last level to hold. Now, that'll get interesting there, because we've got, this head and shoulder pattern that everybody's aware of, which is why I don't really like it. And they have a very high failure rate. But could we go down there, spike the low and then close back up? It's certainly possible. We've seen that happen many times. You got the 100 MA there, right down there. We haven't hit that in a while. There's also kind of in the same range. If we take a look at YM, hit that 42.5 area, and you've got the trend line right here. Same thing on the Dow, right in that 420 zone. I just don't see a ton of downside past that right now. So if we were to, push down there, we'll be watching to see how the market reacts in that zone. And maybe we could get more of a concrete pivot low. We had a nice one here, but again, rejection at that level. So again, onus is going to be on the bulls to push us up. Was that little dip in the last 10 minutes kind of a trick? Kind of like last Friday, we had the nice little pop at the end. We'll see. But bottom line, 590 is still the point of control. If we push away from that, we will squeeze pretty hard towards 598. So that's what I am looking at really going in tomorrow. That's the long and short of it. Past this area, there's other levels here. I know I got these 570s, but I'm kind of looking at like, 57.25 or so. We can talk about that if and when that happens. We're not going to go that far down tomorrow, but those are levels I'm watching, essentially the setup. Now the positives here, other positive we'll say, is IWM. It did spike the low today, and it showed relative strength off the lows. This bottomed first, right? So that's always good when the IWM bottoms first. And if you look at RTY again, this isn't major yet, but you're still holding the 618, you're holding the 200, and you're starting to build some bull divergence here on RSI and daily and 4-hour. So when you see small caps leading and you're telling me that this is a risk-off move, it's like, well, why are small caps leading that? It should not be the case. KRE also, a notably embattled ETF, was green all but in the last, 10 seconds when we had that little slam there at the end. Not really a great risk-off look. Another thing I want to talk about too is obviously the oil and gas news right now is at the forefront with the Russia Ukraine stuff going on. Big push through 420, came way off the highs by the end. I mean, just ridiculous move there for nat gas. And you can see oil here also came off the highs, but oil green, gas green, dollar green. Yields have to be green, right? Wrong. Bonds up today, up 0.5% on the ZN, right? So 10-year yield down 74 basis points, or 74 cents on the TNX, not basis points, but we'll just look at yields right now, and you can see across the board, yields were red. This is not something we've seen normally, right? We're seeing yields down, dollar up, right? Oil up, gas up. Geopolitical tightness, stuff like that. But then you're also seeing like LMT down, RTX down, Halliburton down, right? So I don't know if it's really fair to say it's like a war thing, but it does signal to me like geopolitical tightness. That's kind of how I would read this. But yeah, I told you guys the 2-year, I mean, it's at that inflection spot. And I said like maybe the Fed sees something, if it goes down, but yields are down, and you can actually see right now. Look at the bottom, 1020. When the S&P bottom, 1030. So now what's going on here, guys? Like, this is different now. Got to pay attention to this stuff. Yields up, market down. That's been the case for a while. Today it was the opposite. So it's a one-day thing. We'll see if that continues, but definitely keep an eye on that stuff. QQQ. Again, it went to our 515 level. We went through it, got almost to 510. Some interest down there. We did split the trend line though. But again, spinning top finish. It's not the end of the world. If if we can push through, again, there's the 515. We close right at it. I mentioned that in the Sunday night video. That would be a level, but if we start to push up, 520, and then I think 525 would probably be it for tomorrow. If we got the bull case tomorrow, with like the 598 setup on SPY. IWM still 225. And then diamond here, a little bit more range bound. You can see it pretty clearly, like 433 area. And then, 420 if we do spike the low. A sector that's still interesting to me, and I've been talking to you guys about AMD. This was like, it was down 2.2, but it never took out Friday's low. It didn't even touch it. So I'm just watching these kind of names. But SMH and NVIDIA was one of the few stocks that was green today. And by the way, we had at one point this morning, before the 1030 bottom, there was 6 advancing issues. We closed with 31. That's about as bloodbath as you can get. Right? That is, it's pretty bad. Energy, these energy names were the only things doing anything. But I talked about this in the weekend video. Watch, you have like higher lows here on SMH. Finished with a spinning top, got hit off the highs by the end of the day, but it did not retreat to this trend line after making a higher high. Right, so just something to watch there. So it's still got to get through 250. Again, NVIDIA is still 140. But if we can get through that, I think we should, this whole market will get a very big lift. Semis do that. IGV, again, hit the head and shoulder neckline. No follow through though. We'll see what it does tomorrow. If that does follow through to the downside, it's going to 90 though. And I think that's a buyable level. Not in a straight line, it'll go down and bounce and go down and bounce. But if we get a bid, it should obviously go the other way. Transports here came nicely off the lows as well. They didn't really finish that far off the highs of the day either. You can see that big sell there, but it didn't really, well, I guess it kind of pulled back a little bit more. That last sell candle wasn't as much of an outside move as the spiders were though. But either way, yeah, it's trying for a higher low here again, 16.2 to 16.6. And then, again, if we get some sort of flush out, like I was just telling you with those levels on the Dow and S&P, you can go right here. So weekly 100, right? I imagine that would be tradable for sure. Already talked about rates, but you can see here XHB got hit pretty good. Even with rates down, it could just been like, total risk off type behavior. But we didn't close we didn't close below that low from, what was it, Tuesday? No, 2 Fridays ago. So that'll be interesting. Remember, tomorrow, last day of the year, and it's a full trading day. Markets close Wednesday, and the market will be closed next Thursday for our boy JC. Rest in peace, Jimmy Carter. I've never seen them do that for a president before, but hey, I guess I get a day off. BNQ, yeah, I get a day off each of the first 3 weeks of the month. That's gonna be rare. But BNQ here down 44 cents. Again, same kind of look, spiking the low, no follow through though. It pulled, closed back inside. So maybe housing a little stretch to the downside here. If we're up tomorrow, we'll see if that leads. XLF here down 47 cents. Still got to look at 49.33. And then you got the 100 moving average on the downside. Below that. Again, KRE, again, it was, had some relative strength today, down 15 cents. ABE down 23, not terrible. And broker dealers here finished off the lows. So they're still in okay shape. I want to talk really quick before I forget. I know I don't bring it up a lot, but the VIX, if all sellers stay under control here, I talked about this morning as well in the short. I said don't look for it to go much past 19 or 20, and it came in pretty good. If they get this under control, it's going to 15 tomorrow, maybe 14. If not, I'd just say 19 to 20. I could see a brief spike to 22 or 23. It would not last very long, though, I don't think. So just want to mention VIX levels there. Yeah, oil is trying to break out of this range. We've talked about this quite a bit. I wrote an article all about energy over the weekend. You can see, where am I looking for? Bollinger Band width, yeah. So a move's coming. This is not going to stay like this forever. However, oftentimes that first move is fake. So just be aware of that. And bonds, if bonds are telling the truth here, maybe the move is down. We'll see. I do like XLE. It should be soft tomorrow. I think, I know after the new year rolls off, dealers will be back in positive gamma here. So I don't think there's a lot of downside in XLE, and I think these double bottoms here in XOP, OIH hold up. I think we could see energy come back. Certainly the news agrees. CCJ again, dipping down again, still looking at 49.50 maybe. Yeah, NM a little bit weaker here. Looks like a little seller exhaustion though. Same thing with NJ, but I could see some lower prices. Nat gas again, new 52-week high spot, futures. That doesn't really mean much though, because the contracts are different. But it's okay. Technically, yeah, 52-week highs on the G anyway. So, but look at this. Like, there's a buttload of supply here. It's like anybody who bought here is underwater from like 2023 to July. So that's probably why it pulled back. Now, granted, the volume's pretty light down there, but producers own that. Commercial hedgers are in there. So if you made money on your hedge like that, that's actually not bad for a producer to outcover if it was me. But anyway, dollar index again holding up. Just excuse me, daily bull flag. I think the weekly needs to do more backing and filling, but there's no problems with it. No problem. Gold here down as well. It did come nicely off the lows though. But again, that's putting in consolidation, as is silver, although silver is much weaker, which makes sense in a risk-off type day. Platinum down as well. Falling wedge break, no follow through, and it failed down there. It's got to hold 900. And then palladium here, weaker as well, but not as weak as platinum. I'm watching this falling wedge. If that tightens up, I don't care what platinum's doing. I'll be just watching this. I got no play on it right now. Copper down 3 cents again. Still lower highs. Nothing's changed about that. Volatility's coming in this too. All right. Another thing about risk off too is that Bitcoin was not risk off today. It was for the first part of the day, but this led off the lows. That's like an impulsive move off the lows there. And yeah, we came back in the last 10 minutes like everything else did, but finished green, and ETH was green most of the day too. Dogecoin, I don't know. Is it really risk off if Dogecoin is green or Pepe? Litecoin up 2.5. So some conflicting signals here, but bottom line, Bitcoin holding that area. And we'll see what it does. Again, I'm not in it right now. You know, if it consolidates enough on the weekly, maybe I'll get back in it. But right now, as long as it's holding that 90, 91 area, I think it's safe to bounce around in this range. So bottom line, 590 is still the big, point of control level. And again, spinning top day. There is a chance for a higher low, though. And, maybe they just did that little dump there at the end to get people out of their positions, because they seemingly did it on the opposite side last Friday. But right now, we'll see. There's head and shoulder, has not triggered. It's technically in play. I'll give bears the near-term bias here, as long as we have, that rejection, going on, which we did. But bulls get control overnight. I think we're going to 598, which would lead to about a 6,000 close for the end of the year. So anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on CarnivoreTrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.